This week, we're taking it to Boston, Massachusetts. My man Reks, one of the illest MCs of the past decade plus, if you ask me. And some of my true fans, or all of my true fans who've been down with me from my first mixtape should recognize that beat because I used it on the Suburban Truth, my first official public release, which was off this album, Gray Hairs. This is Rex's third album, but it was my debut to Reks, and it's probably a lot of people's debut of Reks and their first impression of him. But I do have his first album, Along Came the Chosen. This came out in, when did this? 2001, okay? So this came out in 2001. Gray Hairs is 2008, okay? So he's been at it for a minute before he finally broke through. And honestly, and the only reason I really know or found out about Reks is because of the people behind me right here. And we got Terminology to my right here. Politics as Usual, one of the illest albums I ever heard. Got DJ Premier on there twice. The song So Amazing and Watch How It Go Down. I highly recommend those, and I will play them, but I don't want my video to be as long as last time when I play too many other people's songs. But Terminology, I got introduced to first, and Reks was affiliated with him on Show Off Records, and I just fell in love with them both. But first, it was Terminology and Static Selector. Static Selector produces a lot for both of them, even to this day. And this is a compilation project that Static Selector did called Spell My Name Right. I actually got it signed by him. I saw him at the Vinyl Room in Wappinger Falls, and it was pretty dope. I met the Lox's manager also, who was there. It was really dope, and got to see Static Selector live. And I got Bad Decisions up here by Terminology, Physiology, which is a duo project with Terminology and Lil Fame from MOP, and then The Anti-Hero, which is Terminology and Slain. So there's a lot of Boston happening here, but I just got to shout out Terminology first, because that's what really put me onto Reks. Reks is featured on Terminology's albums and a lot of songs, and vice versa. So Terminology is featured on here twice. But the reason I chose this album is because I just dropped a video yesterday for this song, Struggles of an Aspiring MC, which is the intro off my new album. And I felt, what artist kind of matches like a writer, not just a rapper, but a writer? And Reks was one of the first people that popped into my mind, because he's a true writer. He's a straight up MC. I would imagine he definitely writes his lyrics. He's not one of those people be like, oh, I don't even write. I do it off the top of my head. You can usually tell when people do that, because you only listen to it once or twice and you get the gist of the verse. There's no replay value on it most of the time. But Reks is a deep thinker and a deep writer, and I had to go with him for this episode. And let me just get back to my playlist here. Some other background information. So after his first album, Along Came the Chosen, there's a song called Fearless on here, which I highly recommend. Fearless, one of the first songs I got into by Reks. And then he had a couple videos on YouTube and stuff when YouTube was first getting popular, and I discovered some of these songs on this album, and I still play it front to back to this day multiple times a year. Okay, so this first song off the album Gray Hairs we'll get into, but just before I do that, his second album is called Reckless, came out in 2003, and he also dropped a mixtape called Happy Holidays in 2005, and then this came out in 2008. And he also has In Between the Lines, part 1 and part 2, which are free download on Dat Piff. I listened to that a lot when I first got into him. Like 20 plus tracks on each mixtape. It's really dope. Okay, so this is his third album. We got Static Selector made 11 beats on here. Okay, 11, and there's 20 tracks on here, so he made more than half. Then you got Blaze P made 3 beats. DJ Premier made 1 beat. Large Pro made a beat. DC the MIDI Alien made a beat, who is a Boston producer. He produced Terminology's first album before Politics as Usual. And he also produced for Esoteric, and John Cena's brother is a rapper, Trademark. And Esoteric and Trademark are in a group together called East Coast Avengers. And DC the MIDI Alien is the producer for that group. Shit is really dope. And Soul Theory made a beat on here. I'm not that familiar with them or him. 1914 made a beat on here. And then Demo Beats, okay? So let's get into this. Like I said, huge influence on me when I was in middle school. I must have heard this when I was like 12, 13. Same with Terminology. And shout out to John Babin, my homie. We'd bump. I think he showed me Terminology. That song's So Amazing. I think it was the first one. And then Watch How It Go Down. And oof, I saw him do that live actually in South by Southwest when I was with my man MC Bravado out there. And got to see him do that live. I was rapping along with it. Like, I think I was kind of interrupting him. I was so loud rapping this shit, but I can't help it. Okay. But gray hairs, let's get into this. Blaze P on the first beat. A lot of soulful production, some rugged hardcore production, a lot of messages, themes, concepts, very similar to myself. Okay, dope intro, mad soulful instrumentation. The next track, we got Static Selector. This is the song I kind of already touched on called The One. And if you check out my mixtape, I did a remix to this beat, and I kind of say I'm a culmination of all my favorite rappers. I'm the one that's made up of so many. And Reks was mentioned in that song, obviously, with terminology and Reks. I said remaining very consistent or something like that. Not the best line on the song, but I shouted out terminology and Reks. I'm always paying homage, always was, always will be, because there wouldn't be me without them. Static Selector killed this. The video for this too. The Static Selector throws the radio on the ground, because this is not for the radio. All right, it's a little, I just stopped it there just in case some people get offended, okay? But that track, he's definitely not playing it safe. He's speaking his mind, and if he offends you, he does it on purpose. And he has an overall point at the end of his songs, you know what I'm saying? If you ever feel triggered or called out by his music, he's probably just speaking the truth. And you need to look in the mirror a little bit. All right, the next track is produced by DJ Premier. This is called Say Goodnight. This track, too, was one of the first I've heard by him. Crazy. Check us out. Primo. PE now. Ice Cube with an attitude now. Bishop on the roof now. The Reks is insane. That means Cream's insane. Best producer alive. Then the Game was they bring back the gangstar audio rain. No longer REKS, it's RE cocaine. Y'all on the way out, Reks on the way in. East Coast boom bat, PM to the AM. Okay, I know that one pretty well. That song never gets old. Check out Say Goodnight, produced by DJ Premier. There's a video for that as well. All right, the fourth track, How Can It Be? This is produced by Static Selector again. Dope samples, man. Great production, excellent front to back. This album's classic to me. Underground, independent classic. Never been a name like Reks, best believe that. Wherever I aim my best, I plan to see that. Okay, really dope as well. And as you can tell, a lot of these songs have some great cuts, some excellent cuts on this album. I mean, you got Static Selector hold down 11 beats. He's doing cuts on almost all those tracks. DJ Premier destroyed his track with that. Okay, fifth song is called Stages, produced by Large Professor. Check out The Homage Continues. I already went over his main source album, okay? Woo! And this is about the stages of being an MC. The stages you gotta work your way up, which I can relate to, you know what I'm saying? Again with the cuts, man.
Once upon a time when no CEOs, before cassette CDs and MP3 downloads, they lived corner ciphers, writers who craft flows, snipers tagged up on the iron horse swords, talking way back before platinum replaced gold. Going through the stages, the phases of hip hop, niggas do they dukes up even with they foes.
Okay. And Large Pro was actually sampled in the cut, going the stages, the phases that we go through. And that's pretty dope. I just kind of put that together now. I don't think when I first heard that track in middle school, I was really that familiar with Large Pro to put that together. But yeah, Large Pro on the beat. I don't know if he did the cuts too or for that Static Selector also. I got to look further into that. All right, sixth track is called All in One, 5 MCs, and it's featuring Lil Fame from MOP, who's also in the group Physiology with Terminology. Because Fizzy Womack is his producer name. So Terminology and Fizzy Womack is Physiology. Because Lil Fame or Fizzy Womack produced almost all the beats on this album too, besides DJ Premier and the Static Selector and Alchemist did a couple. But yeah, this album's freaking dangerous, man. I love it. But Lil Fame is featured on this track, so Terminology and Lil Fame connection goes way back, you know. Well, All in One, 5 MCs. Well, I'm sorry, All in One, 5 mics. Because back in the Source magazine, if you gave somebody 5 mics, that was like a perfect rating, like a 5-star rating or a 10 out of 10. That'd be 5 mics. So this is called All in One, 5 mics. It's Reks pretty much saying he's like the culmination, like I said on my song, he's a culmination of Biggie and Nas and this. And Reks actually does imitation of the cadences and voice inflections of those MCs on this track, I believe, including Big L, Biggie, maybe Pun, and Tupac. I don't know who does, but produced by Blaze P. So it's the second beat.
Shit on you talk and big palm with the daily delivery that'll lyrically top super lyrical ebonic from giving you kicking the door is strictly for my niggas who listen to the greatest to write on 5 mics. This is the representation of warriors monumental Halloween set it on for pop. The revolution is on in the song so how the west side pop's like definition of a thug nigga that's right and to my enemies.
See, he's imitating Pac there, which is dope. But yeah, he does Biggie, Big L, and possibly Big Pun all on that track, which is really dope. He probably does 5 different MCs. I'm not exactly positive, but check out that for yourself. Next to me is the next track, number 7, produced by DC, the MIDI Alien, who I went over before. Awesome producer from Boston also, as you can tell.
Let's go. Massachusetts, about to be proud of y'all. I know, yeah. Feel it's imperative, rappers get they said it is. Record is definition given in the dictionary for spitting so effortless. Every breath is as if I'm the game of Tetris. Hold any block down, name any block round. I can definitely
Okay, track number 8. I'm just trying to keep it moving to make these videos a little shorter. I'm already at 15 minutes. Damn it. Money on the Ave. This is featuring Sky Zoo, and it's produced by Soul Theory.
Yeah.
Every beat is dope on here.
Fuck them raps. See, the money making is on the ad. The money makers on the ad. If they be getting dope, while I was trying to rap, niggas, they was selling blow. The things was on the ad. If they was needing coke, dollar bill. You know how this game go. Growing up selling crack was a yellow brick road to the dollar bill. Dollar bill. Meet me on the ad, and we can get the dough, and we can get the dough, and we can get the cash. Fantasizing on chalk climbing, I ignored the drug laws, the law. Adore colorful walls, adorned with graffiti text. On digit steps, I damn near slept. Filling my notebook with future hits.
All right, next track, number 9 is called Black Cream. Parentheses, the Negro Epidemic. Featuring Big Shug, who's part of the Gangstar Foundation. Rapper and singer. Really dope. Produced by Static Selector.
From chains to whips, to chains and whips, hard off the slave ship, to the fly kicks, floors on ice getting paper. All my niggas want paper. We just gotta get paper. We want your American dream, the Negro epidemic, black cream. Black cream. Dear Oprah Winfrey, I know misogyny is rampant in our music and it pains you severely. But dear Miss $1 billion income, hear me, the path to success isn't merely respect self sincerely, remember silly, slaved after mister, and when she disobeyed, then he whipped up. When we was picked up, broke down, whipped up, said thanks to master when he tipped us, palm tree lift us, new.
All right, man, if you catch any of that, he's like a super deep thinker. He challenges the status quo, man. He's historical. He has a lot of integrity and morality for an MC, especially a modern MC. But he always has been that way, and he always kept it real, man, 100%. That's why I love Reks. He never conformed once, ever. In fact, he went more the other direction, man. He's like a really dope album writer and songwriter, and he does not take it lightly what he does. You know what I mean? All right, this next track, Love Sweet Misery, produced by Static Selector again.
Let me talk to you for a minute. I got this burning yearning, this early morning sweet misery that live in me. And it been speaking to niggas dying in jail, trying to get to heaven, highway through hell. Signs lead them back to the cell. Homies fly mail, they call kites to write about life.
Next track's called Rise, produced by Static Selector also. On street corners, gas rising, signs of the time and the flash warning. We a dying breed, we all rise from the bottom to the top. We strive to rock hip hop in the veins. We got one life to live as the world. Track 12 is called Telescope. Static Selector again.
I like to share with you telescope. Peace to my niggas living no so hood. Rest in peace too early cause they know no good. I know shit ain't democratic and I'm demographic. The war's on outside, the streets tragic.
Pretty much, I feel like this is like blue collar rap. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm wearing a white collar right now, but this is like blue collar music. I feel like I make that also. It's blue collar music. Like we know we're not rich. We know we're not even striving to be. We're really trying to speak for the everyday man. You know what I'm saying? And Reks does that. He's so true, man. He's so true to his craft. Day 2 is the next track, produced by Static Selector also. Is track number 13.
Day 1, feeling like I'm feeling cause a nigga need more than friendships that you giving me. You can call it what you want, call it lust or greed, but you must agree it was not just me cause we had the love on lock. What we lacked was trust that just don't stop. Said the block was hot, so I should just try to chill, but instincts prevented my heart from real, so I still kept creeping, kept chasing, kept cheating, kept hiding, kept lying, kept sneaking. You kept crying, kept trying to reach him, even though you saw demons, angels wouldn't let you leave them. Kept trying.
Okay, super soulful, super, man, just really dope. This next track though is one of my personal favorites from back in the day and today. It's called Premonition, featuring Terminology and Consequence. And also on that Day 2 track, Apathy used that same sample on his Honky Kong album. I definitely recognize that. And this produced by Static Selector again. So Static Selector just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs in a row right there.
You ever look at your life and wish that maybe you could start it all over? Gonna start my life. I'm gonna start my life all over again. And it starts right here with my pad, my life. My pad, my life. It's the console. I told the press reset with no regret. Well, look at me now, I'm just getting my feet wet. I look into the crowd and take a deep breath. It's been a long journey, but watch how we rap. I'm ready for the crown and Queens is on deck. Cause I had a premonition that we would be next. So any other notion I had to reject. With all the self-promotion I took with each step. For me to bounce back with.
Okay, really dope. I'm not sure who's singing on that track, if that's sampled or not. I don't see the vocalist listed. I don't know if that's a sample or not. This next track is called My Life. Another great track is produced by Blaze P, featuring Paula Campbell. Love this beat, love this song. I almost used this on the Suburban Truth or Head Nod Music Volume 1. I almost used this beat. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it though.
Almost famous.
We getting rid of the stress, only forward steps. Escalators to the top of the skies. We gon' rise, open up your eyes. See, and to the beat of my heart, it don't stop, y'all. It keeps going on. The beat of my heart, it don't stop, y'all. To the beat of my soul, it keeps going on.
Confused as I've been as to where and when the road to success goes and stress is in. I am the key to my fate. Moment I wake, my eyes see the mistakes in my lifetime. Right times to the beat of the rain. Knowing tomorrow brings blue skies, even the pain, so I can figure life. Get it right, straight in the aim, AM to PM. We reaching until we eating. Me and Blaze P fan, we know that we can amass cash fast for the sun and white.
And I'm not that familiar with Blaze P, but man, he's killing these. And that's his third beat on here. That's his last beat on this album. But man, 3 for 3 for sure. Shout out to Blaze P, destroyed those. This next track's called Crybaby, number 16. Produced by Static Selector again. Damn, man, he's so ill and deep, and just every song is a story about his like real life. Man, he really is an open book with his art. The next song is called Long While, produced by 1914. Track 17.
I ain't seen you in a long while. I used to say you got flow, fam. Handle your businesses. Damn, when my niggas was small, we were born now. Anytime Reks take a shot, miss some more. Just because we ain't kids no more doesn't mean we can't.
Okay, and quickly, these last three, we got Big Dreamers as the number 18 track. And this is a Lawtown remix, it says. So I don't know if there's an original version to this. I haven't heard. It's featuring Crumb Snatcher, who's a Boston legend. So much respect, you know, right there that Reks is getting from Boston. That's like getting Ed OG on your track. And then Terminology is on this again also. So it's dope to see Terminology and Reks back then getting put on and featured with some of the dopest MCs from their city.
Yeah,
Static Selector again, as I was going to guess. You can kind of tell. So it's the remix.
Get my son Zeke everything I missed as a youth. So every time I get in the booth, I rap with a focus. Rats in the roaches, no more of that. More like plaques in the wards is the new prognosis. Ride or die, video and said you the dopest, and I noticed, so I'm aiming at the game like coaches.
Okay, 19. This track is called Isaiah.
In a city where we so greedy and full of lust, deadly sinners, needy killers ready to bust. I saw Billy caught up on the block, Alice caught up with the Glock. Say you won't fall, dog, not on my watch, because I look up to the heavens and I say something that'll get me by. I say you gon' always be held down with this music that I write all night.
I'm not sure if Isaiah is his son or his child. That would be my guess. I'm not positive. And that's produced by Demo Beats. This last track, number 20, is also one of my favorites. It's called Pray For Me. And it's produced by Static Selector. And there's a video for this too.
Yo, dear hip hop, don't take this shit too seriously, yo. Pray for me. Pray for me. Yeah. I said pray for me. She got me stressed out, man. Shit gotta change unless we turn it to the biggest faith. I'm writing this with ether in the lungs and a burn it to the brain. So forgive me if the words come across a bit strange. This is a suicide note. Last words to the game. Nas was right. Shit gotta change unless we said big died in vain and pop died in vain. Been too high on rims to see the writing on the train. How can Lupe complain when his fiasco at a rap show to honor rap breaks is to blame for rap music dying in the box, sales dying on the charts, the art's missing its heartbeat stop. Masterpiece on the south, talking about I should stop saying nigga, fuck that. They brought this nigga out. This is freedom of speech, nigga. The arson's in the house. Burn your White House down with Bush twins on the couch. I ain't come here to crank that jock or walk it out. Either I'm blind or hip hop is dying in the south. And I love Faith, Bun, B-Cast, and Goody Mob, but I miss scenario make them pay and how to rob. New York is the blame. Where I'm from, we look to New York for what's popping. Now New York's flopping, and I'm talking everything. No more classic shit. No more shook ones to blast in the whip. Calm, I used to love it too.
All right. So he's talking, it's a suicide note to hip hop, saying like hip hop's about to just off itself because it's been just in such a bad state. And this is coming out in 2008. You know what I'm saying? So like that song made right now would be even more relevant, in my opinion. All right, so this came out July 22nd, 2008. It's his third studio album off Show Off Records. Like I said, this is his first album. Along Came the Chosen. I do have a bunch of his CDs. I have no vinyl of him. That's why I put Static Selector in terminology. But then he would eventually go on to put out more Gray Hairs, which would be the songs that didn't make this album. He put out another album, More Gray Hairs, which came out 2009. It's a compilation of previously unreleased songs that were cut from this album, but also really dope as well. Then we have Rhythmatic Eternal King Supreme. Rhythmatic Eternal King Supreme, which is the Reks acronym. Rhythmatic Eternal King Supreme. So Reks, that's his next album in 2011. This shit is really dope. Has a lot of great producers on here. DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Knots, Static Selector, Alchemist, High Tech, Blaze P again, Fizzy Womack, Lil Fame. Okay. I highly recommend that album as well. Then he did Straight No Chaser in 2012. I'm not as familiar with this. I got this album, kind of not the real version. I get off like this mixtape website because I couldn't find the physical for this. And this is the dope, features Terminology and Slain, Easy Money. A lot of Static Selector beats are on here as well. Yeah, it is. I think it's entirely produced by Static Selector. Okay, then he goes to release Revolutionary, which is a concept album, more political, produced by Mnemonics. Okay, I have this on physical as well. The official version, really freaking dope. More conceptual, more meaningful. Features Terminology. And yeah, definitely a really dope album worth checking out as well. Then he goes on to release Revolution Cocktail, which I also have, and that came out in 2013. All right, so he stays busy. He's very prolific, consistent, conceptual, kind of like me, gotta say. And Eyes Watching God, he ended up putting out 2014, the following year. This album is like one of his hardest albums, in my opinion. This shit's really raw, really dope, conceptual as well, though. Very conceptual as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so the album is split into two. There's the God side and the devil side, okay? And then there's 3 bonus tracks as well. And this was this produced by one person? Hazardous Sounds. Hazardous Sounds did this. Hazardous Sounds, mad nice on the beats. And he also, if I'm not mistaken, I think he did Order and Chaos as well, which came out in 2018. But before that, he did The Greatest X in 2016. This is a double album, okay? Really freaking dope. Tons of producers on here. Apollo Brown is on here twice. Got J57 is on here. I'm sure, Stack Selector's on here a bunch of times. Knots, Large Professor, Archetype, Buck Wild from DITC, The Audible Doctor, NJ57 from Brown Bag All Stars. and a whole bunch of other people. Evidence did a beat on here, man. The Greatest X, man, there's like 40 songs on this double album. Amazing. Then Order and Chaos comes out in 2018, and this is done by Hazardous Sounds as well. I'm pretty sure. No, Short Fuse. I'm sorry. This is produced by Short Fuse, who also produced for Terminology a lot, and even produced for my man Kane. Kane is the name. I performed with him down in Richmond, Virginia, I believe, with my man MC Bravado, and he's worked with Terminology before and Static Selector, and he's worked with Short Fuse as well. So that's pretty cool. That's my homie right there. But this album's really dope as well, Order and Chaos. Then Things would be his latest album, 2020. It's called The Hunger Inside Never Gets Satisfied. Things. So the acronym is The Hunger Inside Never Gets Satisfied. And that's his latest album. And man, he did not disappoint on this either. He never does. Okay, we got 19 tracks on here. And it's dope. He kind of hand wrote the track list there. Really dope. Because he's a writer, man. You could tell he's a real writer. He got 3 Evidence beats on here. 2 Apollo Brown beats. Got a Marco Polo beats on here. Short Fuse. Static Selector. Knots. But yeah, man. Things. The Hunger Inside Never Gets Satisfied. And that's a lot of Reks right there. Just start with this one if you're not sure yet. Gray Hairs. Or start from the beginning. Along Came the Chosen, okay? And you listen to that song Fearless, I'm telling you, that was the one that really won me over by him. And I like how it's like mad underground and almost like not even mixed well. It's kind of like my music too.
Let's take a trip. Come brothers on the journey. Fight your tongue last. Let's take a trip. Come on. Adapt to heat like cremated ashes across the masses. Rapid fire tongue elastic. Or a classic and a make your mastic. To the shortest with your naked asses. Took your fuck your assets. The fastest bastards. Spitting brothers on the journal. Or eternally colonel. Out of the city where the skyline's painted infernal. Fabulous wordsmith making the earth shift. The feelings first. Stand by her Reks, you'll find we're thirsty.
Okay, so he's just going in like mad hardcore on that one. But there's mad conceptual songs on this as well. Man, he's always been a spitter. Always been one of my favorite MCs, and his consistency has kept him. He's went up for me. I actually was a Terminology fan more than Reks fan at first. Now it's flipped. I'm definitely more of a Reks fan than Terminology, but that's not taking anything away from Terminology. I just really got into Reks even more and more, and I bought all his albums and I listened to them a lot. Terminology, every time he drops something, I purchase it and support it as well. These guys have been very consistent, just keeping it real. But Reks is just like, with age, I've been able to understand him more. And he just like is a really deep thinker and writer. And it's not for everybody, but if you're into that kind of stuff, you need to check us out. If you like Nas, you should listen to Reks. Reks is like a modern day Nas, if you ask me. He's just not nearly as popular because he doesn't care to be, and he raps over certain types of beats. He's not backed by the machine. There's a lot of factors that go into that kind of stuff. Okay, but look at this. His prolificness here, okay? Like, this is his life's work, and I respect it and salute it. The Homage continues, episode 17. Check out my Struggles of an Aspiring MC new video I just dropped. I filmed it myself. I edited it myself. Only thing I didn't do was make the beat. I added the quotes, I recorded it, all that. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the people that are tuned in. Until next time, the Homage continues. I'm SC Static. Much respect to Reks, Terminology, Static Selector, and the whole Boston scene for repping hip-hop the right way when New York wasn't able to, or kind of just abandon our own sound. Boston never did. You know, shout out to Boston for always having some of the dopest hip-hop, including Slain, including Edo G, man. Edo G is one of my favorites. And Guru from Gangstar's from Boston, okay? All right, I got to end this. Peace. Much love.